Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something called bhakti, or devotion. You might think of it as just one single feeling, love for God. But what if I told you it's actually a journey, a path with 4 very distinct levels, where each step takes you deeper? So let's get started.
So, let's start with a really big question. When somebody says they're devoted, what does that actually mean? Are they all on the same page with the same motivations? Well, as we're about to find out, the answer is a definite no. It's way more interesting than that.
So, at its simplest, bhakti is an attitude of love for God. But here's the kicker, the part that changes everything. That love isn't just a fixed thing. It grows and it evolves. And what our source tells us is that the depth of your love is directly tied to your knowledge of God. The more you understand, the deeper your devotion can actually go.
I love this analogy. It just makes it so clear, right? If you say someone is in school, that tells you almost nothing. Are they learning their ABCs in first grade, or are they defending a PhD dissertation? It's a huge range, and devotion is exactly the same. Just calling someone a devotee doesn't tell you where they are on their spiritual journey.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning of the path. The first couple of levels are really rooted in our day-to-day world. Our problems, our needs, and our hopes for a better life.
And we get our roadmap for this whole thing right from this verse in the Bhagavad Gita. It lays out 4 kinds of people who turn to a higher power. And I want you to notice that word virtuous. It's telling us that even the very first step, no matter the reason, is a good thing. So let's break these 4 types down.
Level 1 is the distressed. I think we can all relate to this, right? It's that foxhole prayer. When life is good, God is kind of out of sight, out of mind. But the moment a crisis hits, an illness, a job loss, some kind of fear, suddenly we're praying like never before. And then, once the storm passes, life goes back to normal, and that connection fades until the next emergency.
You could visualize this. It would look like a really divided heart. You can see, most of our love and attention is on ourselves, and then on worldly things we think will make us happy. God gets that tiny little sliver, and it's reserved pretty much only for emergencies.
But here's what's so important to understand. This isn't looked at as a bad thing. Actually, it's the opposite. The source says turning to God, even when you're in trouble, is a good thing. It's a start. It's that first crucial acknowledgement of something bigger than yourself.
All right, moving up a step to level 2, the seeker of wealth. Here, the relationship changes a bit. It's still kind of transactional, but it's more consistent. This person realizes their own efforts can only take them so far, so they see God as the main source of prosperity. They're praying regularly, but it's for success, for security, for material gain. And you can see the shift right here on the chart. Love for the self is still the biggest piece, but look, God's slice of the pie has gotten way bigger. Devotion has become a kind of strategy, a partnership, to achieve those worldly goals.
And this is seen as a clear step up. Why? Because now the person is building a regular, consistent relationship with the divine. They're developing trust and relying less on just themselves. It's another positive step on the ladder.
Okay, get ready, because this next level is a massive turning point. It's a real game changer. The first 2 levels were all about using devotion to change our external world. But level 3 is about changing our internal world. This is where things get really deep. This is where the devotee has a huge aha moment. They realize that all the success and stuff in the world doesn't bring real lasting happiness. So their prayer completely changes. They stop asking God for things, and they start asking to know God. It's a total shift in priority.
And wow, look at the chart now. The shift is so dramatic. That whole slice from money and worldly objects, it's just gone. It's completely vanished. Now, the devotee's love is split right down the middle. Half for the self and half for the quest to truly understand God. The focus is 100% inward.
And this isn't just a vague feeling. It's a very active process. It all starts with that realization that the world can't give you ultimate happiness. From there, you learn to trust that God knows what's best, you start offering up all your actions, and finally, you work to surrender the mind itself, to see past the illusion of it all. This is why the source calls this the best path. The earlier levels are good, they're valid starting points, but this is the stage of real deep transformation. This is the direct highway to the ultimate goal. And that brings us to the very top, the final, awe-inspiring level of bhakti. This is the culmination of the entire journey, where all the lines and divisions just dissolve. This is the state of what's called the wise. someone who has gone through the process and gained that complete knowledge. Their love isn't divided anymore. It's not conditional. They see the divine in everything and everyone. The whole idea of a separate me and a separate God just melts away.
And there it is. The journey is complete. The heart isn't divided into different slices anymore. It's one whole, unbroken circle. The love for self, for the world, for God, it's all merged into one single, unconditional reality.
I mean, just listen to how powerful this description is from the Gita. It's not just saying that God loves the wise person. It says God sees the wise person as God's very self. That's how deep the unity, the connection, becomes at this final stage.
So after laying out this incredible journey from a cry for help to complete unity, what does this all mean for us, right here, right now?
And this is the most important takeaway from our whole explainer. This path isn't just for a few special people. The source is very clear about this. Anyone who genuinely makes the effort, who tries to move beyond just asking for things and sincerely wants to know who God really is, can reach that fourth level.
Now let's be real, this is not an easy overnight thing. This final verse reminds us that this journey can be a long one, maybe even spanning lifetimes. Finding someone who's reached this ultimate state is incredibly rare. But that's okay. The point is the journey itself, and every single step you take on that path matters.
So we'll leave you with this to reflect on. Thinking about these 4 levels, from the person in distress to the seeker of wealth, the seeker of knowledge, and finally, the wise. Where do you see your own motivations? What is the purpose of your devotion? Thanks for joining us.